From Eyewitness News, this is the Tarbox Toyota Hyundai Friday Night Football Wrap.
Hi, we're the Johnson High School cheerleaders, and welcome to the Tarbox Toyota High School Football Wrap.
Yes, welcome to week 2 of the Friday Night Football Wrap. Things starting to settle in a bit as teams get set to measure themselves in division play. Case in point to the top D1 squads mixing it up in LaSalle. The Rams home opener welcoming undefeated Portsmouth to Cimini Stadium. Second quarter action. Patriots with a 3-0 lead, but the Rams on the move. Anthony Francis connecting with Keon Wilson, breaking tackles. It ends up being a 40-yard gain down to the 25-yard line. A few plays later, Josh Morris takes the handoff and then takes it in from 6 yards out. Morris, 4 touchdowns on the night to lead the Rams. Now LaSalle kicking off to the Patriots. Matthew Sewald receives it, and he's got a wall. Takes it up the sideline, 88 yards to the house, but LaSalle would respond with a kick return of its own, and they proved too much for Portsmouth. Rams prevail 42-25. South Kingstown trying to avoid an 0-2 start facing defending champ Hendricken. Fast forward to the third quarter in this one. Hawks up 7-0 when Power Conga takes the handoff, avoids Rebel defenders, 26 yards for the touchdown, 14-0. Hawks lead it. The D strong as well. Rebel QB Michael Harrington flushed, but is met by Michael Crizioni, who takes him down for the big sack. Next possession, Hendricken getting it done through the air. Patrick Gill, the bomb to Mitchell Lucci, 53-yard touchdown. Hendricken shuts out SK 24-0. In Barrington, it's a battle of birds. The Eagles hosting the Falcons of Cranston West. First quarter action. Barrington with the ball, and on the move, Jake Simons play action. Looking for 6, but picked off in the end zone by Brandon McDonald. C-Dub takes over at the 20. They having aerial issues as well. Brandon Iannelli under pressure, hit, balls up for grabs. James Murphy, no relation, comes down with it. Interception sets up the Eagles. J. Murph rewarded the 2-yard plunge. Barrington picks up win number 2 on the season, 14-0 the final score. We have a mass RI battle in East Providence. The Townies hosting a good Foxborough team. The Warriors with a big second quarter lead looking to add Mike Slabby to the end zone, but it's intercepted by EP. Foxborough would eventually get the ball back. They go back to work on the ground. Kevon Howard had a big night for the Warriors. Gets the edge here, then gets airborne. He wants 6. Refs say no. You're out at the 3. Couple plays later, Slabby to Jess Todd. Foxborough up 33-0 at the half. They go on to win it 40-6. Coming up next in the Tarbox Friday Night Football Wrap, we have a ton of Division II action from Rogers to Central Falls. Sarah Hogan will join us with a bevy of highlights. And last year's Division II champions once again off to a good start. Chero head coach Mike Kelly joins me live in studio. We'll be back after this. Thank you, ladies. Last year's Division II champion Cheraho making the trip to Coventry for a C-squared battle on the gridiron. Early action, Cheraho captain Austin McQuaid breaks free. 15-yard run brought down by the big hit from Coventry's Josh Woods. The Chargers still charging to the end zone. They take it in from 5 yards out. Cheraho is now 2-0, 18-0 the final score. And we're now joined by Cheraho head coach Mike Kelly, live in studio. And Coach, appreciate you, first of all, making the drive to come all the way up here and talk to us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, talk a little bit about tonight's game. As I mentioned, you guys off to a pretty good start once again, the defending champs. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. But tonight's game, just in general, 18-0 down in Coventry, a good win for you guys.
Very good win for us. Hard to complain with an 18-0 win. The kids played really, really hard. Coventry was a tough test for us. 6-0 at halftime, and our guys were able to come back, respond, and follow the game plan and the adjustments that we made.
Yeah, and last week we had Keith Kropp of Hendricken in here, a defending champion of Division I. You guys are the Division II defending champs. Talk a little bit about the challenge maybe of being a head coach of a defending champion, and how did you have to refocus the kids at all, or were you not worried about that with as much turnover as you guys had?
I think with the turnover, I wasn't too worried about it, but the message still had to been sent. We started day 1 of practice this year and told them that, as much fun as last year was, this was this year, and we didn't get extra wins or extra points for what we did last year. This had to be this senior class's team, and whatever we do this year, it's going to be theirs, not last year's.
Yeah, and one of the challenges, we were just talking about this before you came on with me, one of the challenges is kind of keeping this thing going, and you've had some turnover, you were telling me, which is actually kind of amazing when you think about the size school you guys have. 17 kids, was it, and then 17 again, but
Right.
you guys were able to win it last year and off to a good start again.
Yeah, back-to-back classes, we lost 17 seniors, and most of them were all significant guys. And this year we have a good-sized senior class, but not as much experience as you might think because of those two back-to-back years. Tonight we probably had 6, 7 sophomores playing regularly for us. So there's a mix of young and old. I think we need every week to get our feet under us and get a little better. But that's what you do in high school. You can't recruit. You can't sit there and redshirt guys like you see on Saturday afternoons, and we'll be okay, but it's just going to be a matter of how long it takes us to get there.
Yeah, and you mentioned setting the tone and kind of hitting the reset button, so to speak, from year to year, and then getting kids refocused and ready to go. But how much does it carry on? I mean, you said you were a semifinalist 2 years ago, right?
Correct.
Then you were able to win it even after the turnover there, and now you have turnover again. But how much of that trickles down to some of the other kids, and they can say, hey, they did it, so can we?
You hope some of it does. Maybe they didn't have a significant role, but they were there and part of it. And in Division II, especially, where you have to play that extra playoff round, the process of the playoffs is probably just as important as just that one big game that everybody remembers. So, hopefully there'll be a big spot at some point this year, and we can draw back on that.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit, too, about the growth of your program. You've been down there a couple of years now at Chariho. How has it been just kind of being part of and now overseeing the growth of a program and now a championship team?
It's been pretty special. I started there in '99, and we were fledgling. We started in '96. The program started, so we were in Division IV, and we had a 2-year little run in Division III, and then in 2006 we came up to Division II. It seems like it wasn't that long ago now, but we're starting to get our feet underneath us as a program, and football's becoming a priority at Chariho, and that's a big thing.
The last thing for you, winning Division II, and we were just talking about this, the two separate divisions that kind of come together in the playoffs. It's one of the harder ones to win in the state. Just talk about that and just kind of the depth and the breadth of Division II and kind of getting a grasp of just how good it is year in and year out.
Yeah, I think top to bottom Division II is pretty well balanced, and you got 8 teams on each side that 4 of those guys are going to move on, and then you cross over and play, and there's an extra playoff round too. And there's something to be said for playing that one more playoff game in a pressure environment, win or go home, and plus the turnaround time between that first playoff game and the Super Bowl. That's a lot of games in a short period of time for guys that let's face it, they're pretty sore with the grind of it. But every year it seems like Division II, you look at it and it takes until about November for it to start to shake out.
Yeah, and got a long ways to go this season, but off to a good start. And we really, thanks for coming in and talking to us, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, my pleasure.
All right, once again,
Thanks.
Mike Kelly, head coach at Chariho. Let's join Sarah Hogan with more highlights. Sarah?
Eric, after winning last year's Division III Super Bowl, Rogers got the bump up to Division II, and tonight they tested their talent against a team that made it all the way to the quarterfinals last year. Saints making the trip over the bridge to Topa Field in Newport. We jump to the second quarter. Rogers, Karan Bostic with the pitch to Khalil Moon, who follows his blockers all the way to the goal line. Next play, Karan punches it in for the score to make it 7-6 Rogers, and the extra point, of course, is good, but the Saints able to rally and pull off the hard-fought road victory, 28-21, the final. And the Carveling Clippers celebrating their home opener tonight at Tucker Field, playing host to last year's Division II runner-up Central Knights. Trying to get something going offensively in the first quarter. Donald Johnson lets a rip, but Chris Hayes is there to make the big play on D, picking it off in Knights territory. Clippers turning that turnover into points. Brendan Guerin connects on a 5-yard pass to Trent Vasey for the TD, and 7-0 lead over Central. Clippers go on to win their first league game of the season, 28-0 over Central. Another Division II battle between Woonsocket and Johnston. Both teams coming out with wins after week 1. Panthers picking up where they left off, first half up 22-0. They would continue to add on as Brendan Pappas drives up the middle for the 7-yard TD run to make it a 28-0 game. Villanovans trying to get something going on offense, but on third down, QB Brett Bouchard is swallowed up by a pack of Panthers. Johnston with another TD run here as Victor Halton breaks through for the score. Panthers go on to beat Woonsocket 43-6. Next stop, Middletown hosting Burrville in their Division III season opener. This one all Middletown Islanders. QB Justin Seller gets the inside handoff to Randolph Butler, who turns on the engines 55 yards for the score, making it 7-0 following the point after. Butler had 2 more scores, including another 50-yarder. Get that man some Gatorade. Next possession, Seller hands off to Cody Cruz, who cruises his way through 49 yards for the TD. Connor Ross added a couple of rushing touchdowns of his own. Final score 58-7. Moving down to Division 4, a 4-legged friend taking in the Smithfield Central Falls game today. Beautiful day that is for football. Warriors looking for their first win at home this season, but Smithfield too much in this one. Brendan Benoit, the fake pitch goes the other way to Ethan Pileschke, who fakes out everyone, including our camera, but we catch up with him as he runs it in for the score. 40 yards to the house for the 6-0 score, but Smithfield not done yet. Still in the first, Ethan Pileschke again on the carry, this time a 10-yard TD run, and that makes it 14-0 Smithfield. The Sentinels go on to beat CF 28-14, the final. In our other Division 4 match of the night, we have Mount Pleasant playing host to North Providence. The Kilties with a 22-10 lead after the third, but the Cougars trying to rally back. Joel Diaz hand off to Sam Odukoya, who runs it in for the TD. That makes it a 22-16 game. Cougars down by a score, trying to force the ball to Jabriel Ali, but number 85 of Mount Pleasant is there to break up the play. Kilties defense turning it on late in the game would put another stop to the Cougars' plans with the sack on Joel Diaz. Kilties hang on for the win, 40-30, the final score. And another big night for the football stars of the state's high schools and for our crews, who will be busy working to upload those extended highlights from all of tonight's games to WPRI.com throughout the night. Eric, let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. Coming up when the football wrap continues, we stick with D2 action. North Kingstown taking on West Warwick, plus East Greenwich hosting Pontiac. And don't forget the one play that stands above the rest. We'll wrap things up after the break.
The Tarbox Toyota Hyundai Friday Night Football Wrap continues.
West Warwick looks strong in the early going. The Wizards on the road against the NK Skippers. This is third quarter action. The Wizards quarterback, Cody Grial, he had 2 touchdown passes in this game. Austin Pagai with 2 rushing TDs. And the Wizards improved to 2-0. That is going to do it for the Friday Night Football Wrap. Thanks once again for joining us. Have a great weekend, everyone.